The seasons began to change. The crisp air of autumn painted the trees in shades of gold and fire. Emma wrapped herself in cozy scarves, learned the rhythm of the city streets, and found peace in her small, beautiful routines. She was no longer surviving. She was living, and it showed. Her smile was softer, but real. Her steps were lighter. She no longer carried the weight of someone else's expectations on her shoulders. Each morning, she stood in front of the mirror and saw not the broken girl who once walked away, but a woman rebuilding her life, piece by piece. She realized that healing didn't mean forgetting. It meant choosing herself, even when the memories tried to pull her backward. One afternoon, while helping Anna reorganize the bookstore, Emma met Noah. He had kind eyes and a quiet laugh, and he smelled like old books and cinnamon coffee. Their first conversation was awkward, full of shy smiles and unfinished sentences. But there was something easy about it, something safe. Emma wasn't looking for love, not anymore. She had promised herself that she would never lose her identity inside someone else again. But maybe, she thought, love wasn't supposed to feel like losing. Maybe real love felt like coming home to yourself. Over the next few weeks, Emma and Noah shared slow, simple moments, talking about favorite books, laughing over spilled coffee, walking through the park in the rain. There were no grand gestures, no promises they couldn't keep, just presence, just honesty. One evening, as the first snowflakes of winter began to fall, Emma and Noah stood outside the coffee shop, their breaths forming little clouds in the air. Noah looked at her, his hands tucked into his coat pockets, and said, "You seem like someone who knows how to walk away when she needs to, but also someone who knows how to stay when it's right." Emma felt her heart flutter, not with fear, but with recognition. She smiled, a real bright smile, and nodded. "I stay when it feels safe to be myself." And for the first time in a long time, it did. It wasn't about filling an empty space. It wasn't about fixing broken parts. It was about two whole people choosing to stand side by side, without fear. Emma still had hard days. There were still moments when sadness crept in quietly, like a familiar song. But she didn't run from it anymore. She knew now that healing wasn't about erasing the past. It was about building a future where she could hold joy and sorrow in the same hand and still move forward. She continued to write, filling notebook after notebook with stories of hope, resilience, and small everyday miracles. Anna often joked that Emma should publish them one day. Maybe she would. Maybe the girl who once believed she wasn't enough could become the woman who reminded others that they were always enough. The night before Christmas, Emma stood by her apartment window, watching the snow blanket the world in white. Lights twinkled on rooftops, and laughter echoed from the streets below. She hugged a soft blanket around herself and whispered, "Thank you," to the quiet night. Not to anyone in particular, but to herself, to the universe, to every choice that had led her here. She had walked away when it broke her heart. She had walked away without a plan. She had walked away because sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do is choose herself. And now, she wasn't just surviving. She was thriving. She had become her own home. And she knew, no matter what the future held, she would never lose herself again. Because once a woman learns her own worth, she never forgets it. She becomes unstoppable. You've seen Emma walk through pain, silence, and goodbye. Her love story broke before it ever truly began. But maybe that was never the end. Maybe it was the beginning of something deeper. If this story touched your heart, if you felt every word like it was yours, then don't stop now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because in the next episode, something changes. Emma doesn't fall apart. She rises. She becomes the woman no one saw coming. Fierce, free, desirable. Get ready for the final chapter. She chose herself, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.